Managing a classroom is hard enough. Teachers not only have to teach, but they have to prepare lesson plans, grade work, and deal with other responsibilities. I used to be an educator myself, and I know. GitHub has thought about you and has created GitHub Classroom. GitHub Classroom is a product that gets rid of the overhead of worrying about creating and managing repositories for your students. It automatically creates student repositories. It allows you to track assignments, provide feedback, and free up your time to focus on teaching. In this video, we'll go over GitHub Classroom. You'll be walked through the process of creating an organization to manage your classrooms, as well as how to create classrooms and assignments. You'll not only see the teacher perspective, but we'll also go through the student perspective, so you'll know how to help troubleshoot problems with your students. Let's go ahead and get started. First, you'll need to create an organization using your GitHub login. Go ahead and sign in to GitHub, and once you're in, go ahead and travel to the plus sign at the top right corner of the screen. If you recall, this is the button we use to create repositories. And go ahead and scroll down to New Organization. Here you can name your organization. You can choose that this organization will belong to you and choose the free option. Add your email address and create the organization. You can skip the next two steps of inviting members as well as filling out organization details. These are things you can do later if you'd like. Once your organization is created, you can travel over to https://classroom.github.com. Go ahead and sign in. GitHub Classroom will use your GitHub credentials, and once inside, you'll have the opportunity to create a classroom. Classrooms represent your semester or year-long courses. We can add assignments to these classrooms over time. Let me show you how to make your first classroom. Click on New Classroom, choose the organization that you just created and give your classroom a name. I'll call mine Game Theory. Click Continue. You'll now be greeted by a screen that will allow you to invite other administrators to your organization. Think of this as inviting co-teachers, TAs, or any other staff you want to have access. Hit Continue. Here we're now presented with setting up a roster. This will allow you to track students through your dashboard using their name, email, student ID, or any other identifier you would like to use. This is necessary if you want to avoid identifying your students through their GitHub handles. In this case, let me add my one student. You'll also have the option to upload a CSV or a text file instead of manually adding student identifiers. Now you can create your first assignment. Let's click the button. Here you're given two options. You can create an individual assignment or a group assignment. Let's first start with the individual assignment. You can provide the name of the assignment and choose whether you want to use public or private repositories for your students. Currently, since we have a free organization plan, we will be unable to create private organizations. Later, I'll explain how to get your free teacher benefit to upgrade your organization if you qualify. For now, we'll stick with public. Now you have the option to give your students admin permissions. I would recommend going through settings of a GitHub repository that you own to see if you would like your students to have full control of their own repositories. Here we want to enable the assignment invitation URL, so we can allow students the ability to create their repository just by following the URL you give them. Now you have the option to add starter code. For any assignment, I would recommend providing some sort of template for each assignment. I'll go over this in further detail in a later lesson. You can search for starter code that you have created or public starter code that others have created. I'm going to go ahead and choose one that I have created. After that, you're welcome to apply a deadline and you can create your assignment. Once created, you can see the link that you can provide your students to work on this assignment. The beauty of using the link is that you can store this link in your learning management system, rubric, or anywhere else really. Be cautious though, because anyone with this link can join your classroom. You can also see your student roster on this page. As students accept the assignment via the link, they will be able to choose their name on the roster to link to this assignment. You'll see them appear here. Once assignments are accepted and the deadline to turn in the assignment has passed, you can download the student repositories to your local machine. Let's take a look at the assignment settings. Here you can change options regarding the assignment. You should make changes before providing your students with the URL. You can also delete the assignment as well. Let's cancel out of here. You also have the ability to manage aspects of your classroom. We can make some changes to our classroom, such as the name, remove the classroom, invite other administrators, as well as manage the roster. If you click on your classroom name, you'll be taken back to the assignment page. Here you can find all of your assignments for a particular class, as well as add new assignments. Let's go ahead and make a group assignment. You notice that when creating a group assignment is very similar to individual assignment, except that you can determine the number of students on a team, and you can also reuse student teams at a later date. Currently, I can only create a new set of teams, which means that if I provide this with a name, the next time I create a group assignment, I'll be able to see this name and I can use the groups. A word of warning here. We have provided students the ability to join groups, which I will show you later. If you want students to work in certain groups, you should be explicit with them on whose group they should join. Let me create this assignment. We now have the assignment created. Here you'll be able to see your teams as well as students who are not on a team. You also have similar menus that you had for a single assignment. Again, you have the link that you can share with your students to create the repositories for the groups. Let's review these two assignments from the student perspective. As a student for an individual assignment, they'll be greeted to this screen. Here you'll see the classroom roster, and then the student in themselves. Since I use the name identifier, they can go ahead and choose their name to accept it. Here they can click accept this assignment. And here the repository will be created and the starter code will be imported. And then your students are ready to go. They can go directly to their assignment based on the URL that's given to them. For a groups assignment, students will be greeted to this screen. As I mentioned, students will create the teams within your classroom. As a student, I can create a team. I'll call it Game Theory Team 1. Create the team. Here, as it was with the individual assignment, the repository will be created and the starter code will be imported. Here they can go ahead and access their repository for their group. The next student that accepts this assignment has the option to choose the team that I had created earlier or create a brand new team. GitHub Classroom is an invaluable tool that I highly recommend you use in your classroom.